Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shaunneka and today's Yin Yoga sequence is going to be a very feel-good sequence, a sequence that's going to target your glutes, your deep glutes, and your groin. This sequence I did earlier this week when I came home from work, and I thought, you know what, why not share it? So there is going to be a posture in there that I don't think we've done in any of my Yin Yoga sequence practices that I've released. So I will try my best to cue you through it so that you could find the optimal, most comfortable position for yourself, for your body. So for this practice, you are going to need one block, and we will go ahead and get started right away with a seated forward fold. So coming to sit on your bottom. For this one, go ahead and grab your block and just bring it in front of you. Go ahead now, you're going to walk your feet closer to the top of the mat and then bring your feet as wide as the mat. So there should be a big gap and it should also feel a little bit uncomfortable. So inhale, lift up through the chest, imagine you're sticking out your bum, and then go ahead and forward fold. You can allow the head to drop. You can also place your forehead on the block if that feels good. So really trying to settle here. And really just surrender into the stillness. Nice deep breaths into the back body, back of the rib cage. Making any minor adjustments to allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. Maybe you change the height of the block or walk your fingers out closer to the top of the mat. Last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale, fill up, feel the back body swell. Open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Go ahead and lift the gaze. Walk yourself back up. Bring your hands behind you. Just uncross the knees. Just let that air out for a moment. Maybe you windshield wipe your knees from side to side. And although this targets the deep glutes, you may have also felt this in the groin as well. So let's go ahead and do the other side. So just moving the block aside, bringing the opposite shin in front. So go ahead and bring the opposite shin that you had in front and walk your feet closer to the top of the mat and just as wide as your mat. So again, it should feel slightly uncomfortable, but again, it targets a little bit deeper into the glutes. Inhale, arms up, and exhale to fold forward any amount. And you can allow the head to hang heavy, or again, you can use your block to rest your head. I see my practices, especially this time of the year, as a treat. So making any minor adjustments to allow yourself to go deeper for these last few breaths. Maybe you walk yourself out a little bit further. Maybe your elbows come down a little bit closer to the mat. Last few breaths. Last two breaths here. Nice big inhale, swell up. And sigh it out. One more inhale. exhale. Lift the gaze, walk yourself all the way back up. Bring your hands behind you, bend the knees, and just let that air out for a moment. So we'll go ahead from here. We'll just take a brief child's pose. So come forward on to hands and knees, finding yourself in a tabletop position. You can bring your knees as wide as your mat, big toes to touch, send your hips back. And for this one, you're just going to walk your hands out as far forward as you can and bring your forehead to the mat. Just for a few breaths here. We'll go ahead from here and come all the way up. So we will be making our way into frog. So you may decide to use your block, so just have it handy at the top of the mat. So find yourself back in that tabletop position. You're going to bring your knees as wide as the mat, if not a little bit wider. You're going to flex your feet so that your feet, your toes and your knees are pointing in the same direction. So from here, you want to think about slightly tilting your tailbone towards the ceiling and then pushing against an imaginary wall. So you'll notice that there's that wall of tension you'll feel and you can't go any further. So you want to stay in that area of tension. So you can stay on your palms, pushing back like this, or you can bring the block right underneath your belly, coming onto your forearms. And you're using your forearms to push away. So you're pushing down through your forearms and pushing your bum and your tailbone back. You can let the belly rest on the block. Just remembering to relax the groin, relax the knees. Notice if you're tightening and squeezing, really just allowing everything to relax. Always remembering that wall of tension. So if you'd like to go deeper for these last few breaths, you can bring your forehead to stacked palms, bring your arms out, your forehead to the mat. I find maybe that's just a little too intense for me, so I'll stay here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Bring the breath all the way up into the rib cage, right into the collarbones. Open the mouth, inside out. One more, inhale. Inside out. Gently lift the gaze. If you're all the way down onto your forearms, your forehead on your palms, bring your arms back up. Just very gently walk your forearms forward. Rock your belly forward. And come onto your chest and your belly. You can heel toe or inchworm your legs back to center. And just find a moment. You can stay here on your forearms. Stack fists. You shake your hips from side to side. Let's go ahead and bend the knees and just windshield wiper those knees from side to side again. And we'll go ahead and make our way onto our bellies. So we will be taking a figure 4 lotus combo here. So we'll start with the left side. Take your left ankle and cross it over your right kneecap. So you can stay here if this is enough. Push away on your left thigh with your left hand, or you can pick up your right foot. Weave your hands through the hole. Grab a hold of the back of the right hamstring or on top of the right shin. Sometimes we have a tendency to lean to the left here, so it's a slight lean to the right. So you can stay here for these last few breaths, or you can join me for lotus. So what you're going to do is take your left hand out from the hole, and you're going to take your left hand and grab a hold of your right foot. You're then going to take your right hand and grab a hold of your left foot. You're going to draw your left foot in towards your groin or in towards your right hip flexor, and you're going to, while holding on to your right foot with your left hand, you're going to point your right knee towards the back of the mat, and then you're going to point your left knee down towards the back of the mat. So if you notice, my knee doesn't actually come all the way down, but it is in a comfortable position here for me. If you're uncomfortable, you can always take your block and place it under your knee so it has a place to rest. Last few breaths here. Last two breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. If you had your left knee on the block, remove the block. Come all the way back up. Unravel. Uncross the left ankle from the right knee. You can stay here, or if it feels better, you can draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So let's go ahead and cross the right ankle over the left kneecap. Again, you can stay here, push away on the right thigh with your right hand if that's comfortable, or pick up the left foot, weave your hand through, grab a hold of the back of the left hamstring or on top of the left shin. And again, remember that it's a slight lean to the left. We have a tendency to kind of collapse into the right side. And your right foot is flexed. you would like to try the lotus pose for these last few breaths, you would remove your right hand from that hole. Bring your right hand to the outside so that you can grab onto your left foot. You want to take your left hand to your right ankle, and you're going to draw your right foot towards your left hip flexor, left groin. You're going to lower your left knee, so your left knee is pointing towards the top of the mat, the back of the mat, and then your right knee comes down on top. And again, especially on this side, my right knee is a lot higher than it was on the other side. So if you have your block handy, you could place it under that knee or not. Last 2 breaths, nice big inhale. Open the mouth and let it go. One more inhale. And exhale. So very gently bring that right knee towards the ceiling. Unravel the left foot, left knee from underneath you. Uncross the right ankle from the left kneecap. Just take a moment. You can rock the hips from side to side. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Maybe you drop your knees to the right and to the left. Bringing both feet flat back onto the mat. So for our Shavasana, we will be taking a reclined bound angle for this one. So allowing the knees to drop open, you can bring your blocks underneath your knees if that feels more comfortable. You can bring your hand to your belly. Paying close attention to the flow and the movement of your breath. Trying to match the length of your inhale with your exhale. Feeling free to stay here for as long as you like. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and I will see you back here again soon. Have a wonderful day.